this morning? All right. Well, when one thing I like to do when people just talk about like a certain body part that's giving them concern or ailing them with some type of discomfort is to go to the breathing. And you can direct your breath to a certain body parts. It takes time and it might sound like, what is she talking about? But it's not as difficult as it may seem. For instance, you could think about your right hand as you're breathing and you're focusing on the breath coming in and out, but you're also weaving in thoughts of your right hand. And you could do that with your back as well. So let's start to focus on the breath as we begin. And also think about a body part that you'd like to nurture. It could be a foot. It could be the lower back. It could be an elbow. It could be your neck. And as we begin, nice soft breath in and out through the nose. Think about that body part. So a lot of people have discomfort in their neck or the lower back, as Catherine mentioned. I had a student the other day who has some swelling going on in one of her feet and her ankles. Think about, it's not that it's a cure, but it sends this nurturing breath there. And when we look at MRIs of people who focus on a certain body part, or if you ask people, they'll tell you that the circulation changes in that area, or they become more aware of the sensation in that area. So it's kind of cool that you can do this. So we're going to breathe in and out through the nose. We've got our soft, low, smooth breath. Might want to check out that the belly's expanding on the inhale and lowering back down on the exhale just by bringing your hand to your belly. Breathing in fresh air and letting it go out through the nose. You might use the mantra, let go. So inhale, let, exhale, go. So for instance, thinking about the lower back, breathing in some fresh energy and air into the lower back, and then exhale, letting go anything that's not serving you. If we were focusing on a hand, we would just rest the hand on your lap. Think about that hand and fingers and palm. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, inhaling and exhaling. So do that just for a few breaths. Just notice what you notice. Not forcing anything to come to your mind or your body. Just notice. Breathe in. Breathe out softly as you focus on a certain body part. Now, if no body part is coming to your attention, you can focus on your whole body or just pick an area. And you can do this at any point when you're feeling like you need a little nurturing in a certain area. The breath is a tool, it's an innate gift that you have. It's amazing how it can help us with our pain, with discomfort, with wanting to bring in fresh energy and increase circulation. And let's lower the arms down by our side as we begin to move. Always knowing you can come back to resting and focusing and nurturing on a particular area in your body. Spread your fingers, take your arms out to the side, long, right and left. On your inhale, spread the fingers, and on the exhale, curl them into a fist. Open up and close it in. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's circle the wrists as we bring our hands in front of us and then reverse it. Reverse it. Yup. Always get so tight in there. Then push your palms away. So your palms are forward. Good. Relax the shoulders. Let's turn the fingers out. So we're externally rotating and then bring them back in like your hands are pigeon-toed, pigeon-fingered. And then open it up and close it in. And let's do this like we're brushing the air with our hands as we open back up into T. Turn the palms upright. And exhale, take your hands to the back of the chair. Come on forward. Push down through your feet. Roll your shoulders up and back. And release the hands. Inhaling, right arm rises upwards. Side bend now towards your left. Breathe in. And breathe out. Open up the arm and exhale, cross it over the front of your chest. Use your left hand to hold the arm and relax the right shoulder down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Release, lift the arms skyward. Beautiful. Exhale, bend the elbow back behind you. Feel a little stretch along your upper arm. Lift the arm back up. Exhale, side bend. Maybe your left arm comes out to the side and clasp the wrist. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can always keep your hands separated. Ooh. You can also give a little bit of traction here and feel a little bit more lengthening through the side of the body with each breath, little teeny bits at a time. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, flow your arms down. Let's tilt the pelvis forward and back. You can take your hands to the top of the pelvis. I'm just going to turn to the side. This is a great way to warm up the back, especially seated. So a little bit tilting forward and back. So it's a small movement. It's just the lower back moving. If you find that it's not moving so much, there's certainly some tightness there and maybe down the legs, and we will get to that. And then perhaps if it's available to you, take one hand and massage the lower spine a little bit. And then bring one hand to your belly as you tilt forward and back. And inhale, belly expands, and exhale, the belly draws in. Now, as we inhale, the pelvis is going forward, and as we exhale, the top of the pelvis is going back. So you can kind of see that with my hands. And then I will move back forward. Let's inhale and take the left arm up overhead. Exhale, open it up. Cross it over, flow it over. Pull the arm in. Breathe in. And breathe out. Open the arm. Lift it. Bend the elbow. Touch back behind your head. Yep, notice we don't always realize we're kind of tight there. Lift it up, open it up. Let's find our side bend now towards the right. Breathe in, breathe out, open it up once again, take it overhead, maybe use your right hand to clasp the forearm or the wrist. And then lengthen through the spine as you find your side bend towards the right. Breathe in, breathe out, lift back up, exhale, hands to the thighs. Lifting your right heel, exhale, alternating, lowering right and lifting left. And just alternate it a few times and flip one palm forward and one down as you do this. Breathe in and breathe out. Soft breath in, soft breath out as we begin. Take your hands now to the side of the chair. We're going to lean back and feel the core engage and maybe come up onto our tippy toes and then lean forward. So if you lean back and you have back pain, come back upright, take a breath in, exhale, pull your belly in and up. There should be no back pain here. Lifting the heart. Lift, lift, lift the heart. Hands are on the side. And then maybe you lift one leg. And then exhale, place it down. And then the other. And place it down. And maybe next time you lift a leg, you do the opposite arm. And switch it up. Good. Let's rock forward and back, swinging our arms. Yep. Just come on forward and back. Reach forward, reach back. We can start to really, you can give it a little bit of twist here if you'd like. Yes. And then take it to the diag of the room. So arm is at an angle as you extend. Yes. We get moving. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale as you move your arms. Next one, we're going to take a twist. So right hand outside left thigh, left arm behind us or to the seat of the chair. Roll the shoulders up and back. Turn the neck slowly. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. Soft breath in and soft breath out. Good. Go back to these diags, reaching. Yep. Spread your fingers. Let's make a fist. I don't know what they do in power moves, but maybe they have something like this. You guys can tell me that. And then let's do a twist the other way. Take your left hand outside the right thigh, right hand behind you. Turn from the navel up. So we're not turning from the lower back. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Come back to center. Let's take our arms up overhead. Exhale, hands at the heart. Lower the arms down. Reach up high. Maybe gaze at your fingertips. Exhale, hands to the hips. Lean about, I don't know, a quarter of the way, a fifth of the way. So we're leaning slightly forward. Elbows are back and towards each other. Head is in line with spine. Why do I say I don't know? Because everybody's going to be at a different angle for your first one. We're going slowly, warming up the spine as we tilt forward. Now let's push down through our feet. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, hands at the heart. Hands at the hips. Lean forward once again. Maybe you go a little bit further. Maybe you don't. Gaze forward and down so that the back of your neck stays long. Push down through your feet. Circle your arms out to the side. Hands at the heart. We'll go one more time. So you're either going to stay at the angle you were or maybe go a little bit more. Lean forward. Maybe take your arms back this time. Roll the shoulders up and back. Feel your shoulder blades come together. Little pulses with your hands. Little pulses as you come, bring it in and out, feeling your muscles in between your shoulder blades. And we're going to push down through our feet. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands at the heart. Lean back. Maybe lift the right leg. So the knee can be bent and it doesn't have to come up high at all. Then come back forward, other side. Left leg lifts. We're leaning back. We're engaging our core. And come on back forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands out to the sides. Like you're going to fly like a bird. Soft pulses up through the back of your hands. Soft pulses up. So we're feeling this more in the shoulder area. Now push your sitting bones back and press down through your feet and your thighs. That's going to help that lower back curve. Push down, rise up, arms up overhead, hands at the heart. Hands now lower down to the seat of the chair, lifting the right leg in front of you. I'm going to start with the heel down and then inhale, lift it, and exhale, lower it. Inhale, leg lifts up. We're staying tall. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, it rises. Maybe you take your left arm out to the side for spinal balance. Don't fool yourself. This is a spinal balance. I had a student fall off the chair yesterday. Sometimes it happens. So we want to find a spot to stare at. Make sure you're grounding down through your foot and you feel your sitting bones grounded into the chair. You can always lower your leg back down. Bring the leg back in and let's alternate. Walk in place a few times, waking up the bottom of our feet. Breathe in. By the way, he's an expert. He falls and he's really good at it. You know, some people are good at this. And he's gotten really good at it, very graceful. Going to the other side for spinal balance. Hold on to the seat of the chair. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, it lifts. We're tall. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, it rises. Maybe we take the right arm out to the side. There's work going on in this leg. No matter how high it's up, you're working it. If you touch it, you will feel your muscles activating. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring it on down. And let's kind of do, I don't know, this is kind of like a cheerleader move. Just kick it forward. And right, you can swing your arms. So we do some static movements and some dynamic movements and mix it up. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Let's bring a block in front of us. We'll go into goddess pose. And we want to make sure our knees are over our ankles and that if we were to draw a line from the kneecap down, we would line up and go through the middle toes. So if you feel like your knees are, one knee or both knees are going on in, then push down through the center of your heel, push down through across the ball of the toes, maybe use your hands and give them something to press in, give your thighs something to press into. So now we're gonna take our sitting bones back, lean forward, roll the shoulders up and back, push down through your feet, and maybe lift one or both hands and curl the shoulders up and back. It's like a little mini cobra. And then we're gonna push down, rise up, lift the arms up overhead, exhale, pull the elbows down. Lean forward, sitting bones back, curl the shoulder, roll the shoulders up and back. Sitting bones are back. So you don't want to feel like you're dumping in the lower spine at all. Keep lengthening and toning the belly. Toning the belly. Inhale, rise up, push down through feet and sitting bones. Arms lift, exhale, pull the elbows down. Good. One more time. Leaning forward, sitting bones back, roll the shoulders. I always check out those shoulders to make sure they're going back. You'll feel the muscles along your spine engage. Lower down now your right hand to the block, your left hand to your hip. Angle the sitting bones back behind you. Roll the left shoulder back. Hand is at the hip, or maybe it lifts up into a cactus position, or maybe the arm rises towards the sky. It's always maybes because you get to decide. You are your own gurus. You might be feeling a little stretch in your inner groin, inner thigh area, by the way. And then exhale, lower both hands to the block. Lean forward, sitting bones back. If that's too much, take your hands to your thighs. Breathe in, breathe out, push down, rise up. Inhale, arms lift high to the sky. Exhale, right forearm to the thigh. And circle the left arm around and about a few times. You can go forward and back, elbow bending, fluid movement. Fluid movement, just kind of flow it through the air like you're moving through warm water, and then arm comes over the ear as you take a big stretch. We got this nice side bend stretch. Inhale, you'll feel your ribs, they're spreading, and the muscles in between your ribs are expanding. Push down through your feet, rise up. Exhale, left forearm to the thigh. Roll both shoulders back, encircling the right arm around and about. And we breathe in and we breathe out. Soft breath in and soft breath out. And then swing the arm over the ear, get long, reach long through your elbow and your wrist, beautiful. Breath is in through the nose and out through the nose. Press down through your feet, lift your heels up, and exhale, release. Roll the shoulders up and back as we lean forward. Now we're going to take the right hand down, and we're going to do the twist the other way. So you want to make sure this bottom shoulder stays externally rotated. Roll the shoulders back. Sitting bones move straight back. And then maybe you can always keep your hand at your hip, or you can lift your right arm into this half cactus, or lift the arm up towards the sky. Sitting bones back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the center of the heels as they press down. And inhale, lift on up. Release the hands down. Beautiful. That's a long time to have your legs wide. Let's bring our feet back together. And we'll practice chair pose as we stand. You can always stay seated. We're going to start with triangle pose. So getting ready to stand if you're going to stand. If not, triangle pose, we're going to take the right leg out to the side, left knee forward. So I'm going to get my props out of the way here. Always got to do that. And bring the chair to this side, to the right. And now we're going to open up into our big wide stance. You can have a chair in front of you, to the side of you. In our classes, in our in-person classes, sometimes we have chairs on either side and in front. So you want to do what you feel safe. Then we take our wide stance. And I've noticed some people in class are keeping their socks on. So I just want to say this, as long as you want to be safe, and it can be slippery to have socks on a yoga mat. So you might want to take your socks off or practice on the floor or on the carpet. It might not be so slippery. All right, so we're in our wide stance. We're going to turn the right toes out. Then we're going to tip our spine towards the right, and your hand can touch the chair or your leg. So there are some people who go down further, but this is not, we want to try to keep the body in a plane where the spine is not moving forward of the bottom half of the body. So we're in the same plane. I like fingertips on chair. It's really nice. You're still pulling your belly in and up to keep you strong, and soften the knees. If it feels like they're locking, you can go ahead and bend them intentionally. Then maybe the upper arm, the left arm lifts, and take a breath in and a breath out. Press down through your feet. We're going to rise on up. Release your arms. That was gorgeous. I can see some of you doing it. So you can always keep your hand at your hip, or you can widen. I'm going to show you what it looks like with both hands at the hips. So we're tilting. We're rolling our shoulders back so they're not coming forward. Notice where your head is. It's hard to know where your head is, but see if you can imagine the head extending from your neck. Sometimes it means taking the top of the ears back slightly. For some people, it means imagining you have a grapefruit or a piece of fruit in between your chin and your chest, and you're grabbing it without clenching, right? You're just holding it in place. And then we find our pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, when you're practicing by yourself, you can stay in these poses a while. It's very good for your bones. Staying in these poses anywhere from a few breaths up to a minute is awesome. There are some osteoporosis studies on yoga with 12 poses, and the recommendation is to stay in them for about 45 seconds to a minute. We're going to push down, rise up, all 10 toes forward, and bring our feet back together. Awesome. And you might want to circle your hips around. So take your feet a little bit wider and roll them one way and then the other. And we will do the other side. I'm going to move the chair. You guys could just turn around. So again, we take our wide stance. How wide is wide? Well, it's going to be what you're comfortable with and what you're safe with. I really prefer a chair in front for safety if you're feeling like your balance is compromised. The reason the chair is to the side for demo is so you can see me. We're going to turn the left toes to the side. I'm going to check out my knees. They tend to lock. Even when I think I'm not locking them, I'm locking them. And that's pretty much the case for many people who lock their knees. So we have to really kind of exaggerate that bend a little bit. Keep a softness behind the knees. The joints just don't, when the knees are locked, we're hanging in our joints. We want to activate our muscles, feel them activated. Then we're going to tip our spine towards the left. Our hips are going to the right. Hand can go to the chair. It can go to the top or back of the chair or the seat of the chair. It's going to depend on your angle. Let's roll the shoulders up and back and think really long. Think long. Your spine is lengthening at this diag from the bottom, from the base of your spine, all the way up through the crown of your head. And at the same time, we are pushing down through our feet. Now, when you push down through your feet and your heels, you could feel your buttocks activating. And that's a good thing, right? And then maybe the arm lifts. Maybe it doesn't. I use that maybe word a lot because I don't want you to feel like it's a requirement. And we're reaching tall. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, as you breathe out, tone your belly. So notice that's not a soft breath. It's not a squeezing breath, but it's not a soft breath because we're toning. We are intentionally toning the lower abdomen. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to push down through the center of the heels, through the balls of the feet. Rise up. Awesome. Turn all 10 toes forward and walk your feet towards each other. And we'll do a little bit of balancing poses. Now, I'm going to keep the chair to the side once again, and you can play in different variations with the knee being forward or out to the side. Same thing seated. You can lift the knee or you can bring it to the side. So here we go. We're going to first stand in mountain pose, both feet equal standing. Feel that. As you push down, you're going to feel the muscles activate. Think about lifting up and out of your lower body. So this part of your body, your waistline gets even longer, shoulder blades on the back. We're going to transfer our weight to the right leg, and you get a choice. Toes down, because this is asymmetrical. You could bring the leg up like this, or anywhere in between. Or you could put your foot on a block. That's kind of midway, a block or two, something like this, and we'll play with our balance. So we've got that spot we're staring at that's not moving. What should we do with our hands? You've got choices. You can keep one or both hands on the chair. Your chair might be in front of you. So if that means your knee's probably going to be out to the side, so you don't knock it. Or you could have two chairs, one on each side. Or maybe you play with hand in front of you, or both hands come in front of you, and you come into more of a prayer pose. We're going to breathe in and breathe out. And if you feel any wobbling, what do? You want to be safe, so you might bring your hand back down to the chair, take a release, little break, shift your weight either way. And we'll do it again. You can choose a different variation or the same variation. Lather, rinse, repeat. So it could be here, it could be here. And we're going to find that spot to stare at, and maybe we play with a different hand position. Maybe the arm comes up overhead. Maybe both arms come up overhead. You want to be safe. You're breathing, you're finding a spot to stare at. You can always have a hand down. That is not a sign of weakness. You are playing with your balance where you are at today, not where anybody else is at. Feel the toning in your hip. This is really good for your hip. And then we will let that go when you're ready. I know lots of people like to hold it for a while, and feel free to. And we'll do the other side. So this is a variation of tree pose. We're just playing with, should the knee go to the side or forward? How high should it go? Certainly up to you. Go back to your mountain pose. Have your shoulders on your back. Feel a toning in the belly. Soften the knees. Shift the weight to the left leg. You choose, toes down. Foot can be against shin, but if foot is against shin, make sure you're not pushing your shin out to the side, right? We want to keep our hip from shifting as well. So we want to keep thinking up, 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 up. You can push down like you've got a steak, like a tomato steak, and you're pushing down into the earth, straight down. That hip stays in line rather than out there. Why do I say that? Because I tend to do that. So I'm thinking maybe some other people do too. Think tall, whichever position you choose. Find that spot to stare at. Now, some of you are feeling like, oh, my balance is really good today. You want to challenge it up a bit. how can you challenge it? You can challenge it with where your hand position is, where your leg position is. You can also play with changing your vision and maybe looking to the side or to the side, but only do that when you feel like you feel really comfortable in your basic foundational place first, wherever that may be for you today. Because the foundation, we always go back to the foundation, but then our place where we're, let's say, comfortable with practicing balance, that's where you would feel is your starting place. And then from there, you might move to a different. And then we'll release that and let it go. Let's find our way to wall dog. I'm going to take my hands onto the seat of the chair. And hands can be on the seat or to the side, whatever feels good for you. Feet are hip distance apart, soft knees. Walk your feet back. Walk them back. And then bend your knees, take your sitting bones and reach them back behind you. Feel the big toe mounds push down. And then feel the pressure across towards the pinky. Press down through the center of your heels. And then bending and straightening slowly. Breathing in and breathing out. And then let's walk our feet back towards the chair. You can always stay longer in these poses. Never feel like I am rushing you. We're going to do wall dog again and play with leg lifts. And I want you to think about keeping your hips level when you lift the leg. Now, for some of you, you're going to have your hands on the seat of the chair. Some of you are going to have it on the back of the chair. That is for you to figure out which feels best to you. And so when we lift the leg, we want to keep the hips level. So here I am, and then leg lifts. So I don't want to do that. We're here. So we're not taking the leg out to the side like that. And we're going to take the leg straight back. Now the toes can stay down or the leg can lift about hip height. Standing leg, knee is softly, it's soft. So it looks straight. Now the weight is going to be in that standing leg and hip. But as we inhale and exhale and lift and lower the leg, we are also working our glute here on the other side. So heel is pointing upward, toes are pointing downward, and hip is level. You can inhale and leave it for a breath, or you can lower it down and take a break. Do this a few times playing. Try not to let the opposite hip veer to the side. Keep it moving straight back. And then take a little break. I definitely feel this in the standing hip quite a bit. Notice where you feel it. And we'll do the other side. Here we go. Hands on the chair. Walk it on back. Extend the other leg back. Start with toes down. Think about softening the standing knee. Hips are back. Lifting the heel upwards, toes downwards. Think about level hips. And then lower. And then lift. You'll feel a toning in your hips. This is good for those glutes. So inhaling, lifting, exhale, lowering. I'm going to take it up for a little bit and take a breath in and a breath out and then lower it down. So you can play. This is where you get to change it up. How long should you leave the leg up? And then let's go right from here back to our wall dog. Take the sitting bones back. Breathe in, a little pulsing of the hips up and down. Ears are about level with arms. And walk back in towards the chair, and we will get ready to lower down to the earth, onto the mat. So you're going to want your blanket and your blocks and your strap. We need to do some stretching of the back of the leg. We haven't done that yet. So this is how a lot of people go down. You guys have your own little tricks. Just be safe. Just be safe. So hands on the seat of the chair. We slowly lower down. And I'm going to move this chair out of the way. So generally, people put one knee down and then the other. And there we go, out of your view. And let's start on hands and knees. This is going to be a similar movement to what we just did standing. See, all these poses can be done seated, standing, on the mat in our different dimensions. And so if your wrists are sore, you might come onto your forearms, or you might have your hands on blocks or a rolled mat. And let's do a cat and a cow and a cat and a cow. So rolling the spine upward and then letting it dip back down as we tilt our pelvis forward and back. Now, make sure your feet are going straight back from your knees, and we will work on leg lifts, keeping the hips level. So here we go. This is what it looks like. Extend the leg. You're going to lift it, keeping the hip level. If this happens, then I'm exaggerating. That's obviously not level. So we want the toes down and the heel up. And then we're going to pull the knee in towards our belly and then extend it back and go. When you go back, try to keep the hip level. So that for me has always been a hard thing. Pull the knee in, extend it back. For me, it feels like I'm going slightly pigeon-toed in order to keep the hip level. Pull the knee in on the exhale. Inhale, extend straight back, push out through the heel. Feel a toning in your buttocks. Pull in, extend back. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's place the knee down and rock side to side. Rock side to side. Breathe in and breathe out. And we'll do the other side. So make sure your feet are coming straight out from your knees. Extend now the left leg. Lift it up. Let's have our level table here, our level hips. We could have chai on it. Or tea. Let's pull the knee in, and as we extend back, try to keep the level hip. Pull the knee in and up, and then press the heel away. Pull the knee in and extend back. Toes are pointing downward, heel is upward. One more time, pull it in and up. And extend it back. Feel your shoulder blades on your back as you gaze forward and down. Release the knee and roll side to side. Let's find a child pose. So knees can be apart, toes together. And then you might bend your elbows and rest your forehead on your forearms. Or you might lengthen your arms forward. So find that spot that's right for you. If you tend to cramp, you can put a blanket on. For some people, they're feeling too much of a stretch in their knees, and putting a rolled blanket behind your knees is also extremely helpful. So here we are in your child pose, and I like to rock the hips right and left. This is a really nice massage for the lower back. Breathing in and breathing out. And we'll rise up. Let's play with knee lifts for a little core work. Now, if your wrists are tired, you could come onto your forearms. We're going to extend the leg and push out through the heel. Get a good stretch through the back of the leg. Rock it forward and back. And then we're going to pull the knee in towards our belly, round our spine, lift the knee in towards your belly, and then lower the knee down for about an inch and lift it back up and extend it back. Then pull your knee in, lower it down an inch or so, pull it back up, extend the leg. Pull the knee in, let's round it. Let's do that like doggy fire hydrant and open up the hips. So circle your knee around and about a few times. Feel that nice wide open circle. Imagine the hip opening, opening, opening. And then let's place that knee down and rock your hips once again. Maybe move forward and back. Do a little bit of forward and back movement. And we'll do the other side. Now you can be on your forearms or your hands, extending the leg back, push the heel away, other side. And you will notice maybe one side feels tighter than the other. I'm definitely feeling that. Then we're going to pull the knee in towards our belly and then lower it down, but don't touch down. Then pull it back up and extend the leg. Pull it in, lower it down, lift it back up, extend the leg. As you extend the leg, the pelvis is level. Pull it on in, lower it down, lift it back up, extend, feel that level pelvis. One more time, bring it in, lower it, lift it, extend it, release. We'll go down onto our bellies. Now, if you get lower back pain, being on a blanket or a pillow, like a soft level pillow is a nice thing to do too, because what it does is it decreases the arc of your lower spine. You can rest your forearms down and your head can go to the side, or I tend to like to look down, but a lot of people like to look to one side. Just make sure you do the other side at some point to even it up. So we are down on our bellies, and many of you might have the blanket underneath the rib cage and pelvis. And we're going to keep the pelvis level as we lift the right leg and lower it down. So inhale, it lifts. Exhale, it lowers. Inhale, lifting. You'll feel some toning here in that buttocks area. And then exhale and lower it down. Inhale, it rises. Spread the toes. Reach back. Lower down. One more. Lift. Let's hold it for a breath or two or three. As you breathe in, you feel the belly. It's pressing into the mat. As you breathe out, it's like a deflating. Lower the leg. Other side. Keeping pelvis level, lifting leg. Extending straight back through your toes. Feel a toning in your hip. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift it. Reach it back. Lower it down. Inhale, lifting, toning, breathing, release. One more time. Toning, breathing, and release. Take your hands by the side of your heart, roll your shoulders up and back, feel your legs coming straight back from your sitting bones. We're not going to lift high. So you can be on your fingertips or your palms, which is ever comfortable for you. Roll the shoulders up and back, and then lift the heart forward. Pull the elbows back. We're in a baby cobra. The opening is through the heart. Feel an opening across the front of the body. Exhale, lower down. Now, if there's lower back pain, you might want to stop this pose. You might want to think about toning your belly and not going quite as high. So I'm going to show it now on fingertips, and we're going to go drunken man cobra. So that means we're going to swirl around. Push down through the fingertips, roll the shoulders up and back, and then maybe kind of gaze towards the right and towards the left and back to the right and to the left and circle it around and about. Have a little fun with your drunken cobra. Then come back to a little baby cobra, roll shoulders up and back. Now, if you're not having back pain, you want to go slightly higher, you can. And then release, and let's pull back towards either a child pose or a down dog or a half down dog. So child pose we did before. This is the child pose. This is kind of a half down dog. It's called Anahadasana, one of my favorite poses, by the way. So hips are over knees, fingertips are down, and heart is melting. So this is kind of a half down dog. It's not necessarily easier than the down dog. And just so you can see down dog, palms are spreading, fingers are pressing down into the mat. Curl the toes under, lift the hips skyward for our down dog if that's where you'd like to be at this moment. And so you choose. And then we'll come on down. We'll go down onto our backs for a few pelvic tilts, and then we'll stretch the back of our legs. So make yourself comfortable. If you know your head tilts back, you want a blanket underneath your head. We want the ears to be level with the shoulders, not really any higher, and we want the back of the neck to have a little curve. In other words, we don't want the neck pressing down into the mats, because that would be a flat neck. And really, this whole idea of lower back pain and back pain in general is very much impacted by the curves in our spine, and we have 4 of those. So if one's more accentuated or more flat, that's a lot of times where some pain comes in. It's very complicated back pain. But let's put a strap around the foot. Try not to lift your head to put the strap around the foot. Bring the foot in towards you and place the strap around. You could also, before you lower down, put the strap around your foot. That could be helpful as well. You don't strain your neck. And then I like to cross the strap, and then we're going to push the heel upwards, straightening it to your level of range of motion, nobody else's. Footprint is up towards the sky, and we want to keep a little lower back here curve, but we don't want too much of a curve. So it's finding that middle ground, which might mean doing a few pelvic tilts first. If you're not sure where that is, tilting the pelvis forward and back is a great thing to do, like what I'm doing right now. And then see if you can find that middle spot. You'll feel a little tone in the belly, then take the leg up. Then we got some support as we tone the belly and stretch the leg upwards. Spreading toes, pushing big toe knuckle upwards towards the sky. And then maybe you turn the leg out so the heel is in and the toes are out. That's a really nice stretch right there. maybe we don't call it nice, but it's a good thing to do. And so I'm feeling this more now on the outside of the leg and thigh. And then you can keep that external rotation and lower the leg down towards the right. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. You could also support your leg with your hand underneath the leg. And then we'll come back upwards and find half happy baby. Now for half happy baby, you can keep the strap on your foot and pulse the knee towards your shoulder. And that's a half happy baby. Or you can take your hands and pull the shin in towards you, the heel towards you, and knee towards the outside of your right shoulder. And some of you might go from here to number 4 pose. Your number 4 pose can look like this with the foot down, the left foot down, or you can pull it in. You choose. You choose your number 4. As you breathe in and out, send love to your hip. So that's the same thing we were talking about at the beginning of class. Sending love to a body part with our breath. We're nurturing that body part with our breath. And then we'll do the other side. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. So left leg or other leg. Right knee is bent, foot is down on the earth. Unless you're super stretchy, then you can lengthen the leg like that. Place the strap around your foot, and then we're gonna find that midline first by tilting the pelvis forward and back to find the midline or mid place. Feel the toning in the belly as you push the heel skyward, straightening the leg to this leg's range of motion. And spreading the toes will change it up. Pushing through the big toe mound up towards the sky will change it up. You can play with pointing it and flexing it and see how that feels. Stay there for a few breaths, and then you're going to turn your heel in and your toes out. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out. Bring the toes down towards the earth and maybe support the leg with your hand. Some people like to put a chair there or a block there. If you do this near a sofa, the leg could hang out on the sofa. Breathe in and send nurturing to this left leg. And from here, we will lift the leg back up when you're ready. Final spinal twist towards Shavasana. And think about where you want to rest. For your lower back, you might want to put your feet on a chair. That can be such a nice relief to reverse that energy. First, finding our spinal twist, so letting your knees fall one way. Really let them go down to the earth. Let them go down. If they don't go down all the way, you can put pillows or blocks underneath them so that they rest down like that. And then you might tilt your head the opposite way of your knees and adjust your spine. So if you look down, you would see a lining up of the spine with your hips. And arms can be in T or cactus with elbows bent. Doing one side. And then the other. So take your time. Now for those of you with twingy backs, you might lift your hips up take them to the left before your knees go down to the right. That can help you line up your spine. Find your twist on the opposite direction. So what you're picking up your hips and you're taking them the opposite direction that your knees are going for that little prep beforehand. Maybe you turn your head the opposite way of the knees. Breathe here for several breaths, and then find your way to your final resting pose for this Friday morning. So lots of choices. You can put your feet up on a chair, like so. Imagine a chair is there. You can have your feet together and your knees apart and blocks underneath your knees if you'd like a little bit of an opening. You could put the bolster underneath your knees, which is often very helpful for the lower back. Choose the pose that is going to allow you to relax. You're going to walk your shoulders underneath you, no matter which pose you choose. Find the pose where you can just be in stillness and breathe softly. Breathe in and out softly without intention. So this is an effortless breath. An effortless breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And if you have the time, you could send nurturing breath to each part of your body, from the lower body up to the crown of the head, starting with the feet, all the way up, taking the time for that. I wish we had time for that, but I know that many of you need to get off. But it's relaxation. Body scans are so nice to give yourself that time to find some peace and calm, and also strengthen the mind-body connection. I will close our time together. You stay as long as you want your resting pose. With hands in front of my heart, I bow in and honor the light. And each of you, my light reflects back your light. Namaste, everyone. Have a wonderful